The following mini-series is brought to you and sponsored by Universal Tile. Listener discretion is advised.
So you guys know that. When they get back to the range, I had to give them 50% of what it was worth.
What bullshit.
$10,000.
This is crazy.
Yeah. So,
Amy, what is if you had to rank the three best ranches in wherever, Las Vegas, the three top, what are the three best? If
I can't even tell you that right now.
Okay.
You know what? They're not the way they used to be.
Back in the day, who was the top? Like, who was the
Bunny Ranch?
Okay.
Bunny Ranch, because you know what? Because Dennis worked. Dennis, you didn't feel bad giving him 50% because he was up at 4 in the morning every day on radio shows, TV shows. There's always something going on. You know, he got us on the map. We were doing red carpets. We had the Cat House show. I mean, that was, and I thought that was the way, and it should be for all those years. And I only left like a year and a half ago after 20 some years. Like I would leave for a month or two and go somewhere else. But basically I was there that whole time. And the way they do it, the way they do it was like, it was so centered around sales and it was just so much competition. There was so much competition. It was like all the girls were in the parlor at the same time. And then one guy came in and they were just like vultures on one guy. You just had to make the most money. You're only as good as your last party. And it's very, very, very competitive and very, very, I had no idea how much of a pressure cooker I was in until after I left a year and a half ago. And I went somewhere else to work where you just came out. They only brought you out for lineups. You didn't hustle a bar. You didn't hustle a parlor, and you just hung out in your room or did whatever you wanted to do. And you wore regular clothes. And when the lineup came, you put your costume on, and that was so much relief to me. I was like, like I said, I had no idea the pressure cooker I was under, and like driving around town and not having to think that, I need to be at work because it's like I live 8 minutes away from the Bunny Ranch. Oh my God, I need to be at work. There was just so much pressure. So finally I got rid of all this pressure. And it's a trade-off for these rules, these stupid rules. I mean, like I left there because they tossed my room. Okay. Why is there even a term in 2025?
Wait, what is toss?
Called toss, unless you're in prison. Okay.
We know about this. Oh. Yes, Amy, we know about this.
Yeah.
Why do they toss you? You're stealing or something?
Okay. So this girl got up in my and I enjoyed this place because it was had so much privacy. Then they got this girl in there. She just was fucking. She couldn't. I'll get young dumb girls that want to compete with me. And it's, we're at totally different levels, man. Just stand back. I am not in competition with you. We are totally different. We are worlds apart. Okay. And she wouldn't let it alone.
Amy. You're Air Force
She
Amy.
Wouldn't let it alone. She had to get up in my face and in my business and finally I went around the corner. I'm in the office and I'm getting ready to book a party or pick up a client out of the bar. And she's there getting her nose up in my business. And I went around the corner and I said, this motherfucker, and I went off, right? And so she turns around and starts crying. And they tossed my room the next day as punishment. And this is the biggest crack of shit I ever saw in my motherfucking life. You guys know I'm clean and sober for 6 years and ain't nobody tossing my shit. Okay. No,
yeah.
No, if you're tossing it, here, give me the bin, pack it right now, put it out in the fucking parking lot because I'm not doing this.
Yep.
And I left. It's not funny. I said, that's bullshit. Well, you haven't been tossed in a year or the whole year you've been here. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, that shit.
Like for you now, like you're so well known in the industry. Like when you go to these places, everybody knows who you are, right? I mean, there has to be the way.
Yeah. And here's the thing. What I found out by going to different places is their tenured girls or new girls or whoever girls will feel threatened by me, never having met me. and you
Oh,
feel threatened. And so I go in, and like the whole time I was at this last place, they do this pimp trick. All the places do. They do this pimp trick. You don't get your head full of yourself. You got to always be humble. They will kick you down and browbeat you down and cut you down to size. You can never, never, never be inflated. You are always replaceable, and you're only as good as your last party. So for me to go to this place and be browbeat, and I'm just like, they put me in the smallest room they had. I said, that's enough. Look, this is enough. Okay.
Right.
Come on. I just legitimized your place by putting my fucking face on your goddamn website. Okay. Give me some credit,
That
but I don't,
I like, amen. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Like, you demand respect. Like, when you
Yeah.
go somewhere, people know who the fuck you are. Ew.
you know, so yeah, it's cringeworthy. They're very cringeworthy. And what it is who does this shit? It's the webmasters. It's so strange. I have found at two different places now. Some webmaster has crawled and snaked and weaseled his way up to the top and is in control of all these girls now and is swinging his dick around. This is just absolutely disgusting. Something's going to happen to these guys. I swear to God, God's going to see this shit. Karma's going to be a bitch on these guys.
Yeah.
What the fucking fuck is a webmaster doing as a general manager, or anybody making any decisions? Are you kidding? Did you look at your fucking web stats lately?
Now, Amy, for those of us who don't know, what is a webmaster, though?
A guy that maintains the website, like puts your pictures up and is supposed to be doing SEO. That's it. But these guys, and then, if someone asked me who is the scum of the earth, what do you consider the scum of the earth? Before a drug dealer, I would say it used to be limo drivers because they would get my money all the time. Limo drivers, taxi drivers, and webmasters because they
Wow.
think that they know this language that nobody else knows, and they snow you with these numbers and they baffle you with bullshit. And it's the biggest crack of shit. It's a scam. It's a scam. SEO
Wow.
and webmasters are a scam,
This.
That is crazy to me.
you know? And you know what is so cool right now? I have like AI is going to put them out of business.
Yes. That's
AI is
yes.
going to put them out of business. I
Fact.
totally just redid my website. Grok helped me redo I totally redesigned my site, and I'm learning everything I need to know about websites and SEO with Grok. And
Too.
he doesn't have a financial interest in me. Got
Right.
AI on Twitter, and I like AI on Twitter because it's more. It's hard to say. Although it's conservative, it's more liberal, to be honest with you, because it allows me to talk about sex, whereas ChatGPT does not.
I got.
Grammarly fucking went after. I was writing something for my website, like a bio or a package or something, and I'm writing it, and Grammarly refused to write it any longer, refused to correct it any longer because it had to do with sex.
Isn't that
And they
crazy?
had the
Have
audacity,
to be careful too.
right? And they had the audacity to keep hit me up for like a pro plan. I'm get the fuck out of here. How can I get rid of you? You can't
Oh,
even let me talk
God.
about sex. We are so censored against sex right now. It's so bad. I'm like, what did this happen? It
Do
was
you
like
think
around
worse
like you
than
said, 2014, you know,
yeah.
when they took all the sex off of the HBO and Showtime and Cinemax and everything just got turned around. I think it all has to do with the sex trafficking. If they just got rid of fucking pimps. So there's this thing right now. There's a thing right now in the works that they want to do federally is decriminalize, not legalize prostitution. And what they would do is decriminalize and then go after the pimps. Did I just
How-
hear what I heard? Why don't you just go after the pimps now?
right.
You know, what they
Do you
need to
think
do,
that's
this
going to
is
fix
what
the
I think,
problem?
get rid of the pimps,
Right.
period. If a woman's prostituting herself, you know, I think
Behind
the
every
model
prostitute and pimp.
you know, so, and you just don't know. You see on Twitter, like all these thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of escorts, and they're very beautiful, and they're traveling the country, and they're giving you their dates, and nobody's stopping them. But you just don't know if there's some scraggly, creepy ass pimp behind her, driving her, to do that. They look like really classy, nice women, but you just don't know if it's really consensual or not because it's you just don't know. I think the model that, and I honestly don't think the model that the brothels have right now is the the best that we could do. It was put into effect 60 years ago by Joe Conforti, who got exiled from the country.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Come on, man, change the model. Come on, you
right.
know. So this is what I suggest. I suggest use the New Zealand model. Women are in control of their own body, their own destiny. They can sell their bodies, sell their services, and regulated, right?
Yep.
And up to 4 in a house. If there's more than 4, then you become a brothel and there's other rules, you know?
Oh,
So I think they should just enact that try it in a couple states and not in some crazy big ass city where everything's crazy already, Put it in and put it in areas, tax it, regulate it. And I just don't think that you need a house and a pimp to take 50% to make it legal. I think you could do it just as well. A woman. I think we're women. We're fucking.
right.
I don't need a middleman.
Right.
You know. I
100%.
mean, if you want to keep your brothels, and see if anyone wants to go work for you and get their feet wet. That's fine.
Right.
But I
Right.
think I think women should be in control of their own destiny. I don't think we need a pimp to take 50% of what we're making to do what we do. Or worse than that, a pimp taking 100% and beating the fuck out of you and keeping you on drugs. Gotta get rid of pimps, man.
You think they just
Glorify
changed
the
that?
pimp and yeah, I mean, they built for century, you vilify the prostitute and glorify the pimp. It's gotta stop. Come on, man.
Right. Right.
So that's my take.
And you had said something about pimps being in brothels too. Why would
Yeah,
there need
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
why would there need to be
Yeah, that's
pimps in
crazy.
brothels for those of us who don't really understand what that's about?
So, like, years ago, like 30 years ago or so, there was a couple of brothers up in Oregon or Seattle or something. They would send down the most beautiful young girls down to the Mustang, and they were, they had pimps, and they had to give all their money to them. And they were it's like an abusive relationship. You can't get out of it. You get sucked in, you get charmed, you get sucked in, and you can't get out. We actually would help girls do what we call get peeled from a pimp. When you take a girl from a pimp, it's called peeled. At least it was back then. I don't know what it is now. So we would try and help girls get away from. That's why they had the fences up, so people can't get it. Not that to keep the girls in, but to keep other people out. So, and it's just really common. I mean, and the girls will enjoy to go to the brothel if they have a pimp because because it's indoors. You're in one spot. They're
Right.
sleeping in the same place every night. They can get drunk on the job. He's not there beating her. At least maybe they're on the phone fighting all day. You hear him, but it's a reprieve.
Right.
So, like, I know girls that have worked for 20 years, and I know one. She's got a pimp in Michigan, and she's not even allowed to sleep in the same bed with him when she goes home like 3 times a year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Uh,
And here's the thing: the brothel knows about it. They know. And
right.
they're letting it go on right under their nose. But you know what? They know that she's reliable. They know that he's going to keep her there, and
It's all about the money.
she's going to be there.
Let me ask you this. Okay, in the brothel, when you have clients, is there ways to make sure that it doesn't say get physical, or is it a safe place when you're in the brothel and you're having relations with clients? Or is it something where it's like a free for all? Once those doors close inside, forget it.
No, and you know what? There's something about I've never really seen any any incidents in like 35 years. I've seen maybe 5. Okay,
Okay.
something about that gate closing behind you, and even if the ones that have security, they have problems. If they see security, they're going to give security problems. If we don't have security, there's no problems.
Right.
But if you get, if you're new and you get drunk, you're getting high, you don't know what's going on, and you come to and something's happening you don't want it to be happening, yeah, then there's a problem. But if you got your wits about you and you
Right.
carry your way in a certain way, and you handle yourself in an assertive way, they start to go step over the line, hey, and you stop it right away, it's going to stop. If it doesn't, then they're kicked out. I
Right.
slap them across the head. I biff them.
That-
Sass and class, baby. That's what Amy's about. Sass and class.
I'll biff you. It scares the shit out of them. It shocks them right there. And if they're really bad, you just you box their ears, and that's going to stop almost anything.
Amy,
let's bring her to the questions of the audience.
I have one more question.
Oh yeah, of course. Shuttle.
Life at the ranch, right? You're talking about like scheduling parties and things like that. What is a normal party? Like, what does that look like?
Hopefully not a Diddy party.
Yeah, for sure.
What the fuck? Why do these guys with so much power have to cross the line like that? I know so many of them that, like Diddy and Ron Jeremy and all their friends, And here's the thing about that too. Let me jump over there for a second.
Oh, yeah.
And especially in the porn industry, sex work industry, and the guys on the fringe of it are just in it. They think it's okay. Well, she's a stripper. She's
right.
That it's okay to get it and take advantage and get a piece of that. And here's the thing: you already know. No, I already got a line you can't cross. You have to pay me. So I have more restrictions than anybody else walking on this earth. I'm the one you cannot touch without paying me. So for you to come to take advantage and and go over the line with me it's like double jeopardy. It should be anyhow.
Right.
So, but a typical parties.
Is it like people are all around and they're, oh yeah, I'm going to put it right here. And they're naked. I don't even know.
No, it used to be. No, you know what? When I first started working at the Bunny Ranch in like the year 2000, from 2000 till maybe 2006, for the first few years, the bar was 4 people deep any hour of the day. It was walk-in traffic heavy. And then HBO came along, and then the internet came along, and it's got watered down more and more and more and more. So you go into places now, and there's nobody. It's dead city, man. They're ghost towns. But we do our work online. We make appointments online. So you're on social media, and you're hustling, and you're on message boards and podcasts. I don't know how much business this one's going to get me, and if I can ever get another job again after what I've said today.
You're going to Amy, everybody's going to go to you after this one, all around the world, because they want the crap to them.
I'm never going to get a job. I mean, that fucking webmaster is going to set, and the first thing he's going to do is he's going to hunt this down, man. He's going to give it to, whoever I'm working for. Well, fuck them. So, so it's very quiet. There might be 10 lineups a day, 24 hours, where there used to be the Mustang Ranch, 30 years ago, there'd be 200 lineups a day, 300 lineups a day.
Damn.
Yeah, because it was right there in Reno.
How many clients would you take in a day? Like
back then would be 20. Back then would be anywhere from 10 to 20 in 12 hours.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it used to be. Now it's like, I'll see 4 people. I'm lucky if I see 4 people in 2 weeks. If I see 4 people in 1 week, that's it.
So is it always intercourse or like?
No. So this girl did a study on us, and it was on our use of condoms, because it was like we don't have, there's no STDs that ever come out of these places, and it's just like it's a phenomenon. So she said, well, maybe it's the use of condoms. So she gave us $25 to answer this questionnaire about our use of condoms. This concludes episode 3 of the mini series with Air Force Amy. Stay tuned. Episode 4 is next.